How are you today? I am fine. Hello, we're of course up front with Frank Rothstein on Sky's Crescent Radio. That is Sky's Crescent Radio, SKYES, crescentradio.com. We are also live on Facebook. So go to facebook.com and you can go either to Sky's Crescent Radio or my page up front with Frank Rothstein, and you could watch me there if you're just listening. Feel free to look at me. And well, let's see, I'm looking at my lighting today. Do I look a little brighter? I don't know. All I know is my light takes on more effect because it's dark outside. It's not that I have my light on any bigger. I'm not a big believer in big lighting. This eye doesn't like light that much. So I sort of, Sitting with me as always, somewhere, and now in part, because she's predominantly invisible, in front of a green screen wearing her green shirt. So as I look at her, trying to check her out, but instead I'm seeing the map of Italy, is of course the semi-invisible Jade Zabrick. Jade and the Train Walkers just came back from Washington, D.C., where they took pictures, doing the usual touristy pictures like this in front of all the statues and the monuments. And we saw them, and they performed in a couple of spots as a band and did a lot of fun, made some good music and some new fans. And of course, as always, every first Sunday of the month, they're at Arlene's Grocery. They headline over there at 95 Stanton Street in Manhattan. And of course, you can always email me at any point in the show. I will see it at upfrontfrank@gmail.com. That's a lot of introductions. That's not the longest introduction list I ever had. That was a couple of years ago, but that's a lot of talking. What do I have to talk about today? I didn't pull up a million stories. I didn't see anything overly important that's not all over the news as it is, except I'm looking at the jury, the closing arguments in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. It's all over the news, of course. And I was just telling Jade, look at lawyers. They don't shut up. They just keep going and going. It's like Energizer rabbits at times like this. They just don't stop. I mean, I don't know how you hold the jurors' attention for that long when you're going hours and hours on a case they've had to sift through for days and days. But both sides are doing it. I know the judge has removed the weapons charges from this case, so we'll see what happens there. I know the Kenosha, the governor of Wisconsin, is ordering the National Guard just in case there's another riot, because that's how it is in America. If you don't hear what you want, you riot and burn and whatever else and destroy whatever you can. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. Whatever the decision may be, providing the lawyers stop talking. But that's, okay. How was everybody's week this week? I know we're all getting ready for Thanksgiving, plotting and scheming which relatives we're going to see, who's vaccinated, who's not. Do you want to take a shot sitting in the house with somebody who's not vaccinated? Do you want to wear like a breathable plastic bag over your head just in case? Put a plastic bag over their head just in case? Me, I'm just planning on eating some side dishes. I'm not really a big turkey guy. I like it well enough, but I'm not really a big turkey guy, and I never understand why there has to be a turkey. I know it's traditional. I understand all that, but there are so many excellent dishes. You're giving thanks for, I guess, the people you're with, your life in general, the things you have. Does that require having a big dead bird on the table? Can't you have a steak or a lobster or something really good? But either way, I will be carving the turkey with my aunt's dull knives. And I kid you not, that is actually a true story. Dull knives. And I wound up buying her a knife sharpener. Oh, I forgot how many years ago. And what happened was the knives, even the carving knife, it was very difficult. It wasn't cutting. It really wasn't. And I call her into the kitchen. I said, there's a big problem. And she goes, what is it? I say, see that? Okay. I said, look at this. And I'm sitting here. You can see what I'm doing. If you're looking at the video, you can see what I'm doing. And she goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm not bleeding." You know why? I'm just not bleeding. And that's what I did with her carving. So I wound up buying a knife sharpener. Next holiday came around. I sharpened it up pretty well, and right through the turkey I went. So I'll be sharpening again, making my life easier. You're not supposed to get a pulled back or a hernia carving a turkey. It's supposed to be, sort of ready to go. Anyway, everyone start plotting. Get your booster shots if you believe in it. Get whatever. Make sure everybody's healthy. Check out, see who's on the list. See what you want to do. And let's get on with what's going on in the world as we know it. And again, I didn't pull out anything so amazing. Let's just say, like everybody else last night, most everybody else, I was watching Adele. I was watching her. Of course, Oprah Winfrey has it, but I was watching her music. I was always a fan of Adele's voice. I think she has a beautiful voice, and she has some songs that I really do like. And the show was, 2 hours last night? In front of the Griffith Observatory in Hollywood. So from where she's standing on stage, she's looking at the Hollywood sign. Everybody else is looking at her. They used the building itself as like a screen for the video effect. And the show was pretty good. I can always use more music when Adele's on. Interviews, it's okay. But she's in good voice. Everyone's always talking about her weight loss, in her body. Leave her alone. The woman looks terrific. Leave her alone. But anyway, the show was good. I was happy. That's all that counts. Okay, so what do we got going on? One good thing about people, about humans, is we will find a way to screw things up. It's what we do. Anyway, so what was on the headline? I'm getting this from Associated Press, and that is Russian test blamed for space junk threatening the space station. This is an article from today, and it says a Russian weapon test created more than 1,500 pieces of space junk that is now threatening the 7 astronauts aboard the International Space Station. And the State Department confirms that the debris was from an old Russian satellite destroyed by a missile strike. It was dangerous, it was reckless, it was irresponsible. Anyway, the 4 Americans, 1 German, and 2 Russians on board were forced to briefly seek shelter in their docked capsules because of the debris. Well, I guess if necessary, they'll hit a button and shoot off the station. But that's what we do. We leave stuff. That's what we do. We leave junk everywhere. What's it? Even a fleck of paint can do major damage when it's orbiting at 17,500 miles per hour, 28,000 kph. So yes, a fleck of dried paint can do some damage to you. But that's what we do. We leave stuff. We don't account for the junk in space once you blow it up. It's not like it's going to disintegrate. It's just out there. It's, space is our junkyard. And I mean, look what happens when we go to the moon. Well, now we're on Mars. We're not getting any of that stuff back. We're not getting the rovers, the flagpoles. I hope the flag is still standing there. I don't care who pitches a flag as long as it's still standing there. I mean, of course, it's just if there was a wind of sorts and whatever, and it fell over, whatever happens in space, but we just leave stuff. That's how we do it. Pods, machinery, cameras, stuff in space. This is what we do. And I think it's, and how do I know this is what we do? I'm looking at an article from a couple of days ago. A Danish town has spent $150,000 to clean up the beach trash and dump it back in the ocean because people out there like their clean-looking beaches. That's nice. You want a nice little sand spot, taking the sun. That's pretty cool. It's good. And of course, the people who took the bulldozer and removed seaweed and plastic from Stillinge Beach twice a week during the summer, only to take the waste a few yards deep into the sea and dump it back into the water. This is what humans do. And what happens when you dump it back in the water? Well, you're not taking it out to the deep ocean. It's just a few yards off. however far a bulldozer can go, and has to wash now back onto the beach. Well, I guess this is job security for the bulldozer driver, because this is the dumbest thing I can imagine. Why not just clean it up? Why not just do something and get rid of it? You know, something. But no, this is how we operate. We leave stuff. Oh my. Well, okay, so we have a clean looking beach, a dirty ocean, and a junkyard for a planet and the moon. This is what we do. People, clean up your crap. Someone has a phone dialing outside. I don't know if you can hear it through my microphone, though. What else is going on? Well, a lot of things are happening. Let's see. What is this? This comes out of Israel. At least I got this from the New York Post. This comes from Israel. And it seems this is now what they call a revolution in warfare. Israel has a new invisible defense system. It says it's the new weapon in their defense arsenal, and enemies of the Jewish state will never see it coming. The weapon, which can reportedly hold electronic capabilities, is an enemy, is part of an enemy, is part of a new suite of electromagnetic warfare called Scorpius. Excuse me, Scorpius. I need an eye exam. Scorpius, Scorpius. The Scorpius missiles send narrowly targeted beams of energy that disrupt enemy electronic sensors, navigation, radar, and other electronic activity, so on and so on. And yeah, don't mess with Israel. I will. I keep saying that. I know a lot of people are not for Israel. I understand that. But every now and again, some country picks a fight. And that's just the way it goes. Anyway, this cost, it costs some money, but I'm impressed with the defense system. That you can disrupt everybody's technical or electronic abilities. Well, it would help. Right? Anyway, that's what's going on with Israeli defense. Don't mess with Israel, people. Let's see, it's 5:15 coming up. Getting my shopping, starting my shopping for Christmas. I don't know why I started so early. My list is relatively small, but I don't know why. I'm just in the mood to start early. Usually, every time I start this show, there's a siren coming. You hear that? Every time. Is it that I inspire illness or tragedy that every time I do this is like a fire truck, a police truck, an ambulance, something? Yeah. Okay. What is this? This is a guy who's going to be greeted well in prison when he gets there. This comes out from November 10th, because again, I'm only on once a week. So, you know, some of these things happen immediately after I get off the air. It says a Florida man pleads guilty to stabbing a pit bull puppy over 50 times, 5-0. And that's what he did. And the dog eventually died. Brendan Evans, 35, who was initially charged with 17 counts of animal cruelty in 2017 torture of a pit bull named Ollie, pleaded guilty to 2 counts after prosecutors dropped others in exchange for his plea. And I'm looking at a picture of this poor dog, this puppy. Well, he used an 18-inch machete. Got it? I hope he goes away. And I'm sure he will be given a proper welcoming party when he gets there. Nobody likes people who torture animals. Animals, children, women. Don't do it. So, what's going on with all of you? Tell me what's going on with all of you. Feel free to email me at upfront with Frank Rothstein, upfrontfrank@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment on the Upfront with Frank Rothstein Facebook page. I'll be happy to look at it there and see what's going on. You know, we'll talk about it. Well, let's say the highs of becoming a TikTok famous is killing millennials and Gen Z. Yeah, there you go. Gen Z. Oh, man. One day I'll do this show from here and it'll just be quiet. Anyway. It says, I'm just laughing at myself. Tessie Heyer's son was dying to be famous, and a deadly TikTok stunt sealed his fate. If I would have, she says, if I would have known about some of the dangerous things he was doing in his TikTok videos as his mother, I would have stopped him, and he'd still be here with me. The mom is 37. The Florida woman's 18-year-old son, Timothy Isaiah Hall, known to more than 273,000 followers as Timbo the Redneck, died in July while attempting fishtailing stunt. That's something from Messenger. That's nothing to do with us. It says he tried a fishtailing stunt to impress online audience. As I say, the daredevil deed propelled Hall out of his beloved GMC truck driver's side window, his 4,000-pound plus pickup. Oh, wow. He just toppled on the side onto his body, crushing. Okay. He was crushed. One thing about TikTok, one thing about people who want to be famous on social media, predominantly they have no talent. If you're doing TikTok famous, that's what it's called. You have no talent. And they're just doing odd end things. This is not the first time a kid has done something to themselves to, here's one. Joshua Heliosis, 12 years old, was discovered unconscious in March by his twin brother in the bathroom floor of their Colorado home, attempting TikTok's blackout challenge, in which teens hold their breath until passing out on video. He was pronounced dead, brain dead, and died 19 days later. Which is pretty hard to do. Usually when people, like when a kid says, if you don't give me what I want, I'll hold my breath. They go, well, normally they have to, by reflex, start breathing because, and usually when someone passes out from not breathing, they take a breath right away. No, this kid did something special and suffocated himself. Yeah, TikTok kids, I don't know what, I keep saying it, I don't know what parents are thinking of. They're not watching out for their kids. I don't know where they get the idea that just because your kid wants to do it, that makes it okay. The climbing over the loose milk crates challenge, to me, I don't know how people haven't broken their neck yet. That's when you stack like a pyramid of plastic milk crates. You try to climb up one end and down the other end. I don't know. I've seen people fall on this thing all the time. And if you're not really a kid who's fast enough and limber enough, I'm looking at a picture of an adult, a grown adult, big guy who fell and almost broke his back. Yeah, people need to, here's a woman, quite attractive woman, Tilly Whitfield, 21. She went on to do her freckles do-it-yourself hack. And I think she has facial scars. I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, if you can't sing and you want to sing and do a video on TikTok, have a good time. That's great. I think that's fantastic. I can't play an instrument, but if I want to take my friend's guitar in front of my camera and go at it, make some noise, who's going to care, right? Want me to do some bad card tricks? I can do that. But they're not hurting anybody. They're just not. They're really not. You got to be safe when you're doing these things. No one's going to care about you if you hurt yourself. I promise. If there's a kid listening, if you're a TikToker, if you do any kind of social media stunts that you think because you have followers that they really care about you, they don't. They really don't. Take it from a boxing fan who has read countless stories and have watched fighters die in the ring. People still go to fights. They don't leave because it's not, they wait for the main event. It's tragic, but it happens. And the fans don't care. Not like that. It's tragic. Yes, they care that they'll, care that someone died, but they're not giving up on TikTok the same way as fans keep going to the fights. It happens. It's dangerous when you're doing stuff that can be very dangerous. For the most part, don't, especially if you get nothing out of it in return. I don't know how much money you're making, but yeah, here we go again. You hear that? Jade, what's going on outside my window? Why do I always, you hear that? Every time. No, you're not hearing it because I'm hearing it. I think the mic was picked. Jade says she can't hear it. Whenever I do this show, there's sirens going by. This is so tragic. Where was I? Killing yourself on TikTok. Yeah. People, remember, I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago when the TikTok challenge, the social media challenge, was swallowing Tide Pods. You know, the laundry detergent pod, you throw it in the machine, had that nice orange and white swirl, looked like candy, looked like a big piece of candy corn. Kids popping it in their mouth. Kids are dumb. If they're doing this, don't tell me about their educational levels. Don't tell me about this. Don't tell me about how they're geniuses. They're dumb. That's their job. Parents, you got to watch out for your kids. That's what it is. You're doing social media in your house. Watch out for your kids. I don't know what else to say. Therefore, we move on. On good news. Well, by the way, let me get to, I want to make sure I got the date right. 1 second. I'm going to get the date right over here because that's important. Sesame Street went on the air. Let me get it. Let me get the date because, of course, when you want to find something, it's never there. 52 years ago, November 10th, Sesame Street premiered on television. The very first episode. I remember watching them as a kid, and I'm looking at the picture. That's my neighbor throwing out garbage. And who do I see? Well, there's Ernie and Bert. I'm looking at Big Bird, of course. You gotta have Big Bird. I'm looking at Mr. Hooper. There's Bob, if you're old enough to remember who all of them are. Mr. Hooper, I remember. You know, everyone was last week. Of course, Saturday Night Live was crucifying Senator Ted Cruz, who was talking about Big Bird, about his vaccination. But Big Bird and Sesame Street has covered everything, every last thing there is to cover in life. They cover it, and they explain it to children as children can understand it. And they covered death. Because I remember when Mr. Hooper, who was a character, the old man who owned the candy store on Sesame Street, the actor died. Well, now they had to explain this to Big Bird, who is forever 6 years old. That's just the nature of the character. No matter who plays him, it's a 6-year-old character. And they cover everything. They've covered homelessness. They covered anyone who's gay, homeless, sick, everything. Well, now they have added an Asian American Muppet to their gang. Yeah. This is an article from today from Associated Press. And there's Ernie. And it says, what's in the name? Well, for Ji Young, the newest Muppet resident of Sesame Street, her name is a sign her name is a sign she was meant to live there. So in Korean, I'm sorry, I'm babbling here. It says, so in Korean, traditionally, the two syllables, they each mean something different. Ji means like, smart, or wise. Young means like, brave, courageous, or strong. So with those definitions, Ji Young belongs on Sesame Street. I'm trying to tell if I can tell she's Asian American. Let me see. Looks like she has Ernie's eyes. And there's that little tongue patch inside the mouth. Her skin, her supposed skin. Ernie's a bit orangish. She's a bit beigeish. She has black hair, black eyebrows. She's a Muppet. And good for Sesame Street. And of course, Ji Young is 7 years old. She'll always be 7 years old. That's just the nature of the character. So when you see people like our brilliant senator from Texas, who criticizes anything to do with Sesame Street, send into his office and tell him to shut the hell up, because Sesame Street can do no wrong. That's how I see it. And I remember as a kid, every big act wanted to go on Sesame Street. All the kids are watching. I know in gospel, Mahalia Jackson was on there singing. He's got the whole world in his hands. I think Frank Sinatra sang "It Isn't Easy Being Green" to Kermit. Lou Rawls was on, or at least at the big names at the time. I haven't watched in a while, so I don't know who's on there now. But that show has always been a good thing. And that's how, did I learn to count on there? Well, it didn't hurt. But I remember the Count. That was one of my favorite characters. The vampire Muppet, whose sole purpose in life was to count. No matter what was in front of him, he always go, 1, sounding like Bela Lugosi or whatever. 1, 2, 3. Matter of fact, Harry Belafonte sang with the Count, counting coconuts on an island, supposedly. But that's, yeah. So leave Sesame Street alone. Every time they had a Muppet, they have something new going on. It's pretty good. Okay, what else is going on? This one here is odd. A tennis star in China has disappeared. Peng Shuai disappears following sexual assault accusations. And this says the Chinese tennis star who publicly accused top former Politburo official of forcing her to have sex has vanished. And that's an international sports officials demanded the accusations to be investigated. One-time number one ranked doubles player has not been seen or heard from in about 10 days. So now everybody, former tennis stars, the WTA, everyone wants to know what happened to this girl, this woman. Well, there you go. She spoke out in China. Here's going on the phrase I like to use, speculate to accumulate. Our mayor-elect, Eric Adams, wants to take his first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. Speculate to accumulate. And that's because it says New York City's new mayor may not have to go to City Hall to pick up his paycheck. Mayor-elect Eric Adams said Thursday he will take his first 3 checks in the cryptocurrency Bitcoin, though it's not immediately clear if the city has the ability to pay salaries in Bitcoin. Well, he's sensing something. And of course, I don't know what he gets paid per paycheck, but if he waits for it to get to the right dollar amount and can sell it, yeah, he could be worth a fortune. And then so will he. So we will see what happens there. But if he can get away with that, smart man. Speculate to accumulate. And I don't know what his personal finances are, but if it's 3 paychecks and he can afford to risk it, let him. But yes, Bitcoin, if it goes up and down and wide, giant surges up and down. But if you, once it solidifies, once it becomes stable, yeah, that could be worth a lot. Excuse me. What does this say here? I got this from CNBC. This is from the 10th, actually. It says the Department of Justice sues Uber for allegedly charging wait fees to customers with disabilities. Okay, what is a wait fee? The car pulls up, they give you 2 minutes to get in, and then the clock starts. I've had a wait fee. It's like a couple of dollars, but a couple of dollars by every pickup they make in a day. That's a lot of money. So the Department of Justice has sued Uber. And because they should not be charging people with disabilities. If someone is in a wheelchair, if someone is older, they can't move very fast, maybe they have to come down steps or whatever the case may be. I'm not sure if there's an option to specify, on the app, if you're able to. But according to Uber, as long as someone lets them know that they are disabled, the fee will be refunded to them. Not everybody with physical disabilities, if it's age related, maybe knows how to do that. And not everybody should have to sit there and find a way to contact Uber and wait for them to eventually, get back to you. I don't like doing that with other things. Right to corporate. I don't like that. Screw that. So anyway, the Department of Justice is suing them. The Uber stock has dipped 4.7%. That was on the 10th. I'm not sure what it is today. And we'll see what happens. I'm not sure how Depending on the weather, maybe people will wait inside till the car pulls up, and then take a few minutes to get there. It happens. But yes, that's what's going on in Uberville. Oh man. Yeah, I didn't bring a lot of stories today. I really didn't. I really didn't. What else is over here? The Senators. Washington Senators games have been postponed due to a COVID-19 outbreak, and that will affect their games versus the New Jersey Devils, the Predators, and the Rangers. Yeah, the Predators. Where's the Predators? I don't even watch. Nashville Predators, and of course the New York Rangers on Saturday are impacted. So yeah, that's a big thing. That's also affects the schedule, but yeah, they got to be safe. And yes, COVID is still around. Matter of fact, everyone is now thinking about, a surge coming up in winter, and of course, maybe with Thanksgiving, because people want to get together, and it's not like it's a house of six. I know some people who are having crowds of 20 in their house, and you know how it goes. You know how it goes. It's you got to be careful out there. I'm going to my doctor in a couple of days. I want to see if he wants me to get another booster shot now in a month from now, see what he's doing. In the meantime, I said my tape measure has moved. I got my jeans are a smaller size. I'm happy. The hell with the world. Look at me. I'm happy. I'm thinking of me. Now, if I can get an letter E off my foot, I can get maybe a pair of shoes in the shoe store. That's what happens when you wear a wide shoe. I wear a 12 4E. 4E is interesting because there are very few places I can go to simply buy a pair of shoes. I just can't do it. You could find some, maybe you can find the 3E that's cut generously, maybe. Some places say they carry a 4E, but it's like a big box in your foot. So I'm sort of limited in what I wear. I know what brands I get. I'm happy that way, but it would be very nice to be able to walk into any old shop and say, I want a pair of those. And I haven't been able to do that in a long, long time. Even though with the weight drop I have, it doesn't quite work that way. But I'm looking forward to when I can go into a store comfortably and get a pair of jeans on my own. I really do. I look forward to this. Years ago, I'm going back years and years ago, I couldn't walk into the Gap or any place else just like that. Now I can tell you, I was in my 30s and I was training at a karate school and I pretty much got to the weight I'm at now. Maybe I could do it. And I don't know, I just took a shot. I went into the Gap and I grabbed the largest pair they had, which I forgot what it was at the time. Because I was younger, so I was built a little different, even with weight loss. And I said, this is going to fit me. And it did. I went into the dressing room and it fit me. And I just remember just having a couple of tears come down my eyes. I could go into a store and, I can find the shirt that fits in a lot of places. Jeans are a little bit different. You got to find the right brand. You got to find it. And not everybody cuts the same. And sometimes if you're not the average size, especially now when everyone's so visual conscious, you can't always go into a store and, do what you want. But I was able to. So maybe my next pair I get, I'm going to go into a store because I haven't done that. I haven't gone into a store to get my own jeans. I can tell you it's been 25 years. I know where I get them from. I can now order them on Amazon. It's easy. It comes to my house. But pretty much, I haven't gone into a store to buy a pair of jeans. I believe it's 25 years. So that's going to be interesting. I think I'll weigh 10 more pounds, see what I can do with that, and then, have fun doing it. Let me see. Did I buy a pair of? Yeah, I bought a jacket. I had a few years ago. I had to go buy a pair of pants and jacket. I was going to a wedding, but actually just to walk in, just to pick it up and go without all kinds of Taylor help. It's been a long time. So what can I say, right? And then, like I say, like I said, it's interesting how all this works. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I got more stuff out here than usual. I finally cleaned out that closet. Remember, I was talking a couple of weeks ago about cleaning out the remains of a company, all the old files and all the old stuff. It took me a while. I wasn't exactly putting in 8 hours a day, but I got my 3x3 closet back. You can clean out a lot of stuff. You could fit, you stock things in nice and neat. I'm really good at that. You can store a lot of crap. I got to tell you, it's incredible. It really is incredible. But I have everything I need backed up on a hard drive. I didn't need the paper. I don't think I need the paper stuff anymore. Got rid of what I had to get rid of. And I don't know if there's great podcast material, but some podcasts you just talk a little bit. Not everything has to have an earth-shattering effect or be a major story going on in the world. That's why when I usually cover stories, I always describe it as opening a newspaper and starting on page 8. Try it that way. So there's not a lot of Donald Trump stuff for me this week. You want to hear about our president today? He just signed a $1 trillion infrastructure bill into law. That's great. We need infrastructure. We need things to be done. 1 trillion. I don't know where people are printing money from like this. I don't know what's going on here. But okay, $1 trillion. Maybe I'll just get the grade of paper and a sketch pad and draw some up and I'll make my own money. I'll just keep on printing it up. And that's it. I'll put it into my computer file. I'll hit my little simple basic brother printer and I'll print out a few grand. That's just what I'll do for myself. I don't know where the value of this is coming from. No wonder this country is broke. Oh man, what's going on? No, let's talk about something important now. The Oreo. The Oreo. We all know about my fetish for Oreos. I'm an Oreo purist. And a friend of mine sent me a thing. This picture says the Long Island Cannabis Community, that's the Facebook group, has a picture of the cover of cannabis stuffed Oreos. So yeah, cannabis stuffed Oreos, says dab covered. They're ruining my Oreo. The picture, I don't even know if this is real, but I'm sure it is because you can make pot cookies, you can make whatever you want. But the thought of this, first of all, when they coat it with whatever they're picturing here, it now looks like a chocolate chip covered Oreo cookie. This is wrong, people. This is really wrong. This is more important than anything else I've talked about today. More important than us leaving stuff on the moon. They're messing with the Oreo again. Oh man, look at this thing. It looks diseased. This is also wrong, along with the wasabi flavored Oreo, the candy corn Oreo, the what's it, barbecue chicken or hot chicken wing flavored Oreo, the watermelon, I said, flavored Oreo. This is just with the various sized Oreos, and this is just really wrong. Ugh. Just give me a plain old fashioned Oreo and a glass of milk, and I'll dunk my night away. I can eat 3 sleeves at a time. And yet another emergency is happening. I don't know where these people are having problems out, where they are, but they all seem to be in my area. Oh, well. There you go. Right, 1 second. Well, yeah. Let's see, I'm looking at Jade right now, and just her head. The shirt's blended in the background. I see her guitar in space. I can see her outline, but pretty much I can see right through her. Well, I can always see right through her, but I can see right through her. And there's Italy. There's Europe. There's the Arctic. Look at that. I'm looking at the skies. That's what you got. The sky's crescent. I'm looking at the shape of the Earth. I'm looking at this big bright star right behind the Earth. And then there's a little light in Jade's shoulder. I'm not sure what that city is. This is what happened when using green screen. So all kinds of things happen. Where was I also here? What's going on? Oh, pizza. Yeah, I'm in New York, and pizza going up in price again because the prices are so insane. Yeah, garlic has gone up. Everything has gone up. What does it say here? Frying oil, which cost $14.50 in October of 2020, now costs $42.50. Wow. Iceberg lettuce, the least nutritional thing on earth, that went from $27, $28 a case is now up to $62 a case. I can't believe that. Chicken wings, 45 a case to 38 a case, depending on the distributor, is now $92 a case. No wonder restaurants can't make it. You think outdoor dining is going to help? No. Garlic went up around 400%. Yeah, pizza boxes went up $5 per bundle. I don't even know what they really cost. But this is just insane what people are charging for stuff. And pizza, well, it's a popular seller. It's a big seller. So, yeah, they'll get it. But, yeah, that's what's going on. It's pathetic. It really is pathetic. Oh, well. Oh, and by the way, not that Kmart is so big anymore, but they're closing all but 6 stores by the end of 2021. So I guess you have one more Black Friday to trample over each other and buy all kinds of odd end crap that you don't need, where you could stay up all night, miss your Thanksgiving dinner, and stay up all night waiting on a big line. And I hope all of you do it in the rain to go get stuff that you can get for the same price the next day. I was never a Black Friday type. What is this story? I was laughing at this. A cow that was set to go to slaughter in Brazil got a reprieve. And the reason being, the headline is, Brazilian cow set for slaughter escapes to water park and rides the slide. And this is a cow going down a big slide, more like trying to walk it down, going down a big slide, which could only lead the cow into the pond, into the pool. So I don't know how it got up there in the first place, but it got up there. The thing weighs 700 pounds. The slide, which only was supposed to hold 450 pounds, held 700. Wow. Well, the cow has earned a lifelong reprieve, it says. And that report came over iHeartRadio. And I guess the owner of the park will keep it as a family pet. And the name is now Tobogga, which means slide in Portuguese. There's always something to talk about. There really is. There's always something we can chirp about out here. We can sit here and yak about nonsense all day long, because not everything has to have some major giant importance. Sometimes the stories can be really ridiculous or fun, whatever. I'm not reading that. Oh, by the way, I'm sure we all heard by now, Britney Spears has won her case. She is free of conservatorship. So no one is she handles her own money. And it's about time. I do not know who was handling Britney Spears' money all these years. But they did a crappy job. Her father, a bunch of vultures, leeches living off this woman. And I mean, I don't swear that the internet is so accurate in every last number they say. But I mean, Britney Spears was big. Well, Madonna's around longer than all of them. But aside from Madonna, Britney Spears was big long before Beyonce. Long before Beyonce, who is worth 400, according to, of course, the internet, 440 million. Rihanna, well, of course, her music career earned her a fortune, but because of that, she played it right. She opened her own cosmetics, accessories, quote, everything. She's worth 1.7 billion. Lady Gaga, just through music alone, is worth 150 million. And Britney Spears, who is a very wealthy woman in her own right, is worth 60 million. Now, again, I'm saying 60 million, but in comparison to what I'm reading here, it seems like nothing because she's been around so much longer. And I don't know who was managing her money, but they were just managing the status quo and living off it because there's no way this woman should not be worth more money. I mean, every time she does a concert, it sells out. That's just the way it is. I was never a big fan of music, but everyone knew Britney. That was it. It's Britney, bitch. That was her line. So everyone knows who she is. So yeah, well, okay, maybe she'll get a good financial advisor, set up a couple of good contracts, a couple of good deals, and build on what she's got. Damn, that's what happens. That's just what happens when you leave. When people are left to handle your stuff. Well, okay. And pretty much, well, what happened? Paris Hilton got married. Well, I'm not all that concerned about it. She's also worth a fortune. And she got a lot more money than her husband. And then what was it with this? I mean, this is a dumbass story. This you probably saw the other day. Let me just punch up the article. There's some people, November 15th. So we all know that, okay, this is printed today in the Post, but this happened a few days ago. Sophia Arista, the front woman for the cover band Brass Against, was halfway through her performance at the Welcome to Rockville Festival when she told the crowd she needed to relieve herself. So she says, I got to pee. I got to make it to the bathroom. And we might as well make a show at it. So she brought up a fan. I'm not sure if he really understood what was going to happen. He laid down under her. She pulled down her pants because not like guys. You got to do what you got to do, girls. And she peed all over him, all over his face. Well, the band was already apologizing for her. They didn't realize she was really going to do that. I'm not sure what's going to happen with her career because of that, or how this is, if she's going to be canceled, any dates are going to be lost or anything like that. But I find that to be somewhat disgusting. Yes, there are people who are into their golden showers, but there's a time and a place for everything, people. At a concert where there could be, especially where there could be kids there, this may not be the place to do it. But what do I know? Yeah, there's 10 minutes to go on this show, and look what I'm talking about. People peeing on their fence. Go figure, right? So this is why I bring along my iced coffee at every show. Everybody, check out the website, skiescrescentradio.com, SKYES. Check out what we got going on there. Check out Jade and her band at thetrainwalkers.com. Trainwalker. I forgot there's a "the" in there. Trainwalkers.com. See what their music's about. They have dates coming up all over the place. And yeah, become a fan. Arlene's Grocery is a very easy ticket to buy. It's not expensive at all. Drinks a fair price. I know the place. Historically, they've always had good acts there. I've seen some of the Train Walkers work. It's always a good act. They have plenty of talent on stage. I believe there will be, well, unless they start adding another walker, there should be like 13 people on stage, unless something changes in the number. And that way, you can walk with any one of them that you want. Someone, when you have 13 people, is going to do a song just for you. You're going to like what you're hearing. Then you can find us on youtube.com/Skies Crescent Radio. Again, SKYES. All we're asking for you to do there is hit subscribe. Just give us one subscribe. Check out one of the shows. Check out mine. Check out anyone else's show. Pick a show you like and watch it. But all we're asking for people to do is to go to YouTube and hit subscribe. Because every last one counts. So anyway, back to what I was watching Adele. Her song Hello on YouTube has over, well, later said over 2 billion hits. on one song, but they didn't account for all the other people covering the song on their accounts. Over 2.5 billion hits on this one song alone, which is incredible. But yeah, that's back to us. That's what we're asking you to do. YouTube.com/Skies Crescent Radio. Hit the subscribe button. Become a fan. You won't regret it. Someone here is going to talk about something that you like. And we're coming up on the end, which is pretty good. Damn, I made it through. So did you. That's pretty cool. Now I'm going to go figure out what to have for dinner. Any suggestions? Go to my Upfront with Frank Rothstein Facebook page. Leave a comment on today's show and tell me what you're having for dinner. Maybe I'll try some too. Let's see. Italy is still where it is. The orbit has not changed in Jade's picture. This is pretty good. Things I can count on. Italy is still where it belongs. And that is the story. I will see everybody next week. Yeah, we'll shave a few minutes off of today. There's no problem. I'm babbling pretty well, but you know, what the hell. I'm going to finish cleaning up some of my junk, get rid of some more stuff. And one thing I should have listened to my father about when we worked there for years. When we were cleaning out the warehouse, he kept saying, throw it out. And I took a lot of stuff home with me that I shouldn't have taken home, just because now I was stuck with it. Yes, when you're leaving and you're changing something and you're moving or whatever, if you don't need it, throw it out. It just becomes like something on your back. So yes, I bought a very good paper shredder, got rid of a lot of stuff, and that is that. There is room to spare. My 3x3 closet is mine once again. I don't know what. Maybe I'll put my flashlights and batteries in there. Gotta put them somewhere. And I got some new flashlights, by the way, before I go, let you know. There's one in my jacket. These are made by Defiant. They're made in casing of cheap plastic, and they are extremely bright. Go to Home Depot, Defiant flashlights, 3-pack, 200 lumens each. They cost me $10. These are bright. They will light up the entire room. And that's my flashlight tip of the week. Everybody have a great week. I will see you next time, where maybe we'll find some bigger, I won't say more important, maybe less important, but things to talk about. That is the story. I wish you well. I'll see you next week. Good night.